Hey, good morning. My name is George Gomes, your instructor for Fall Protection class. This presentation is for WFED 106, lesson number 6. And today is Monday, the 20th of January. I believe it is the deadline. We are going to discuss about the requirements and criteria for fall protection in our construction workplaces that are covered by OSHA standards that can be found under the subpart M of our textbooks of OSHA. Today's objective is to understand the requirements and criteria set forth by OSHA standards and why it is the leading causes of fatalities in our construction industry. We're also going to learn about the types of active fall protection, its components, just like I have displayed here on the table, and who is responsible for providing this safety equipment. Let's start by talking about one of the focus 4 in OSHA. Well, being all 4 is fall protection, electrical, struck by, caught in between, but the one we're going to focus on is fall protection. Falls have become one of the leading causes of injuries and fatalities in our industry, making one of the top 4. Why? Well, many reasons why. And some of the leading reasons, unfortunately, is because of cost, overconfidence, and my favorite, lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge being my favorite because in today's world it is not difficult to obtain information at the tip of our fingers. Everything's so easy. We have internet, Wi-Fi everywhere. We all know no one is perfect. However, in such a rapid-paced environment, unless you live in the Amazonian forest, we tend to be like electricity, taking the shortest path of resistance. Or it could just be our pride that overinflates our ego. Nevertheless, safety in fall protection is available and ready to arrest us in case of a fall. Okay, by OSHA standards, defining fall arrest system means a system used to arrest an employee in a fall from a working level. Now, when they refer to working level, you could either be vertical or horizontal. Well, they both apply, of course, and according to OSHA, each employee on a walking working surface, horizontal vertical surface, with an unprotected side or edge, which is 6 feet or more above a lower level, shall be protected from falling using guardrail systems, which is one of them, safety net systems, or personal fall arrest system, just like this harness I have right here. Well, this is where we start to talk about the full body harness, retractables, and lanyard with other components. A full body harness, just like I have here, of course, you always want to pick it up by its D-ring, okay? These have straps that secure the person in a manner that will distribute the arresting forces over the thighs, as I'm going to demonstrate, the pelvis, the waist, chest, and the shoulder areas. Now this one here that I have, this brand here, is actually called the Salad. At the time when we first got it, this was considered the Cadillac, pretty much the Cadillac of all systems out there. Now these are the 5 areas of the body that are going to be impacted by the G-forces in case of a fall. At the longer the distance, keep this in mind, the longer the distance, the greater the force. Also, the D-rings and the snap hooks must be capable of supporting at least 5,000 pounds. That also includes an anchorage point for the attachment. So wherever you hook up to, you have to make sure that it does have the 5,000 pounds. As you can see here, I have a Salad brand. It also has the 2 mini retractables here on the back that gives me the capability of attachment points whenever I'm 6 feet over, within 6 feet of a leading edge or landing surface. Now these right here are called the Pelican clamps. What's really good about these, very common to be used in scaffolding, because they give you the larger diameter so you can hook up within a 2-inch outside diameter of a system scaffold. You can see here where you have the chest brace. Here I have a body belt that's got a gel padding with a belt. What's neat about this system is you can actually put your bags, your tool bags here on the side and incorporate it into one system. Also, you have where your thighs also go around the pelvis. Now, the trick to doing this and to make sure that you have it on right, is to make sure that these are snug, not too tight and not too loose, because you don't want to run into, have a suspension trauma. And the trick to doing that is make sure it's snug, stick your hand in here, all right? It's gotta go in snug, make a fist, and if you could pull that fist right out, all right, that means it's too loose. If I cannot get my hand in there to the wrist, that means it's too tight. And also the back area of the D-ring, as you can see here, has to be right in between the shoulder blades. Probably wondering what this mini extension or pigtail is. Now, whenever it comes to a retractable or considered a yo-yo on a lot of job sites, I cannot attach this to a lanyard, but I can attach this to a retractable as this one here. This is a 25-foot retractable, and I can go directly to it, which is the D-ring, which the snap hook attaches to. Of course, having that 5,000-pound capacity rating. That would have to be a minimum because of the G-forces that you fall in a specific distance. Of course, you want to always minimize your distance to fall. Can I attach this here to my Pelican clamps, which is my mini retractables? Absolutely not. According to OSHA, if you do that, this tends to have a false reading in case of a fall, and you will extend farther than required, all right? The other type of system I want to show you, instead of a mini retractable, you have what you call a lanyard. Now this here, they have 2 Pelican clamps on it. They give you 100% tie-off. And what does that mean? Well, 100% tie-off is if I tie to one area before I release, I must be secured in another point. Now the difference between this and the mini retractables that I have fastened to the back of my system is, if in case of a fall, this here will give you the full length before the stitch pack is actually deployed, all right? So you will get the full extension of this once this is deployed, which is going to give you a 6-foot plus the 3-foot, which is going to give you the 9-foot in distance. However, what's nice about these, they also have a stitch pack and they also extend from between 5 and 6 feet. However, they do have a locking device inside the mechanism, so if I pull hard enough, it will lock and it'll shorten my distance to fall. All right, so here you have a nice solid system. With these kind of systems here, they also have a clip-on as opposed to the belt strap or just a buckle type, which is very easy. We got the gel pads up on top, making it a little more comfortable to wear throughout the day. Again, key thing here is to avoid, in case of a fall, suspension trauma, which now you're in a critical point that they could lead to injury and even fatality. So you want to make sure that your system is actually snug, and you want to make sure the D-ring is between the shoulder blades and not too tight and not too loose. Also, what we have here incorporated into this fall protection system is I have what they call stirrups. Stirrups actually only work if you are conscious. If you are not conscious, it does not work. So now let's talk about who is responsible in providing fall protection on the job sites. According to OSHA, again, employers shall provide. Now keep in mind there is a difference between shall and recommend. Now when the OSHA says shall, what they mean is that you must do it. The employer must. So they're saying, the OSHA, that employers shall provide and install all fall protection systems required by this subpart for an employee. An employee working on that job site shall comply with all other pertinent requirements of this subpart before that employee begins the work that necessitates the fall protection. So what does this mean? In case if there's a job that does require, higher altitude, 6 feet or above, or 6 feet from a working edge, and you still have a vertical fall, fall protection is required, and it is the employee's responsibility. So, is it possible to prevent injuries and fatalities from a fall? The answer is yes. And again, we do not live in a perfect world. However, if we can minimize these injuries and fatalities that come from different types of falls, and that's by putting on and gaining the knowledge of the fall protection equipment that's available to us, we can go home the same way we came in. Thank you.